Would you be Kodash? Because it's written. That's what he brought them to in 24:44. All our shemut, while I was yet with you. I'm sorry, all our hadabarim, while I was yet with you. All things must be fulfilled, which was what? Written. He said, got to, because it's written. That's what verifies us. We go with what's written, right? Y'all got it?
Yes, sir.
That's how we're going to be vindicated, because it's written. These people go to church on Sunday. Why? We have no idea. Ain't because I wouldn't even put that on them. I mean, because when you look at they talk about Yasharal doing. So a lot of things I would do to these people doing. These people don't bear no similitude of having no zeal or enthusiasm for them. They got more enthusiasm for how they quickly get out the path. Right. Like the people did when Mushah wanted them to get the commandments. The people say how quick they got the path. They had more of a mind to get out the way than they had to get to what was going to save them. That's, right. That's what we don't want. We're going to try to talk briefly and get out the way. Try not to hold y'all long. This kind of got us off a little bit. But let's see what happened at the Yahuah at 644. Now I got to teach myself how to preach again. I taught myself how to sing. I got to teach myself how to preach. So you get rusty quick. $6.44. Listen to the book.
No ish can come to me except the Abba which hath sent me draw him.
And what happened?
I will raise him up at the last Yom.
Tell him what happened.
It is written in Nabaim.
Yes.
And they shall be all taught of Elohim.
Yes.
Every ish therefore that hath heard and hath learned of the Abba cometh unto me.
Beautiful. So what we're going to do, we're going to get back to him, and we're going to just touch up on some key points of things. Since Purim is gone, we'll just kind of go and touch up on some key points, and then we'll come back, and we'll do exactly what he told us to do. Y'all got it? All right, let's look at something. Look at a star. What they're doing. I don't know what the book is, Hadassah. I gotta try to get this thing to bow down. Sure enough. Hadassah. A star. Look at one. Let's do 14. Oh, yeah. I can feel my marker coming on. Listen to the book.
And the next unto him was Karshina, Shethar, Admatha, Tarshish, Merez, Marsina, and Memucan, the 7 princes of Persia and Media, which saw the Malak's face, and which sat the first in the Malkut.
Yeah.
What shall we do unto Malkah Vashti according to law? Because she hath not performed the commandment of the Malak Ahasuerus by the chamberlains. And Memucan answered before the Malak and the princes, Vashti the Malkah hath not done wrong to the Malak only, but also to all the princes and to all the that are in all the provinces of the Malak Ahasuerus.
Listen.
For this deed of the Malkah shall come abroad unto all women, so that they shall despise their husbands in their eyes.
What happened?
When it shall be reported, the Malak Ahasuerus commanded Vashti the Malkah to be brought in before him, but she came not. Likewise shall the ladies of Persia and Media say this unto all the Malak's princes, which have heard of the deed of the Malkah. Thus shall there arise too much contempt and wrath. If it please the Malak, let there go a royal commandment from him, and let it be written among the laws of the Persians and the Medes, that it be not altered. That Vashti come no more before Malak Ahasuerus. And let the Malak give her royal estate unto another that is better than she.
Listen.
And when the Malak's decree, which he shall make, shall be published throughout all his empire.
What about it?
For it is great. All the wives shall give to their husbands honor, both to great and small. And the saying pleased the Malak and the princes, and the Malak did according to the debar of Memucan.
Yeah.
For he sent letters into all the Malak's provinces, into every province according to the writing thereof,
Yeah.
and to every people after their language,
Yeah.
that every east should bear rule in his own house.
I hear that? That's it. Every east should be the Shah in his own house. What's that? A rule. Dominion. All right. Listen.
And that it should be published according to the language of every people. Chapter 2. After these things, when the wrath of Malak Ahasuerus was appeased, he remembered Vashti and what she had done, and what was decreed against her. Then said the Malak's servants that ministered unto him, Let there be fair young virgins sought before the Malak, and let the Malak appoint officers in all the provinces of his Malkuth, that they may gather together all the fair young virgins unto Shushan the palace, to the house of the Nishim, unto the custody of Hag, the Malak's chamberlain, keeper of the Nishim, and let their things for purification be given them.
Yeah.
And let the maiden which pleased the Malak be Malkah instead of Vashti. And the thing pleased the Malak, and he did so. Now in Shushan the palace there was a certain Yehudi, whose name was Mordecai, the ben of Jair, the ben of Shimei, the ben of Kish, one of Benjamin, who had been carried away from Jerusalem with the captivity which had been carried away with Jeconiah, Malak of Yehudah, whom Nebuchadnezzar, the Malak of Babylon, had carried away.
Yes.
And he brought up Hadassah, that is, Esther, his uncle's Bath, for she had neither Ab nor Aim. And the maid was fair and beautiful, whom Mordecai, when her Abba and Aim were dead, took for his own Bath.
Yes.
So it came to pass, when the Malak's commandment and his decree was heard, and when many maidens were gathered together unto Shushan the palace, to the custody of Haggai, that Esther was brought also unto the Malak's house, to the custody of Haggai, keeper of the Nishim. And the maiden pleased him, and she obtained kindness of him. And he speedily gave her her things for purification, with such things as belonged to her, and 7 maidens which were meet to be given her, out of the Malak's house. And he preferred her and her maids unto the best place of the house of the Nishim. Esther had not shewed her people nor her kindred, for Mordecai had charged her that she should not shew it. And Mordecai walked every yom before the court of the Nishim's house, to know how Esther did and what should become of her. Now when every maid's turn was come to go in to Malak Ahasuerus, after that had been 12 months, according to the manner of the Nishim, for so were the yamim of their purifications accomplished, to wit, 6 months with oil of myrrh, and 6 months with sweet odors, and with other things for the purifying of the Nishim. Then thus came every maiden unto the Malak. Whatsoever she desired was given her to go with her out of the house of the Nishim unto the Malak's house. In the evening she went, and on the morrow she returned into the second house of the Nishim, to the custody of Shaagaz, the Malak's chamberlain, which kept the concubines. She came in unto the Malak no more, except the Malak delighted in her, and that she were called by name. Now when the turn of Esther, the Bath of Abihail, the uncle of Mordecai, who had taken her for his daughter, was come to go in unto the Malak, she required nothing but what Haggai, the Malak's chamberlain, the keeper of the Nishim, appointed. And Esther obtained favor in the sight of all them that looked upon her. So Esther was taken unto the Malak Ahasuerus into his house, royal, into the 10th month, which is the month Tebeth, in the 7th year of his reign. And the Malak loved Esther above all the Nishim, and she obtained con and favor in his sight more than all the virgins, so that he set the royal crown upon her head.
There go that crown royal. Well, you know you're doing. Somebody bust out that crown royal. It's serious then. Listen.
And made her Malkah instead of Vashti. Then the Malak made a great feast unto all his princes and his servants, even Esther's Muadi. And he made a release to the provinces, and gave gifts according to the state of the Malak. And when the virgins were gathered together the second time, then Mordecai sat in the Malak's gate. Esther had not yet shewed her kindred nor her arm, as Mordecai had charged her. For Esther did the commandment of Mordecai, like as when she was brought up with him. In those yamim, while Mordecai sat in the Malak's gate, 2 of the Malak's chamberlains, Bigthan and Teresh, of those which kept the door, were wroth.
That's good. That's good, Brandon. Jump over, Brandon. Let's look at the 4th chapter. We're not trying to spend a whole day with it. I appreciate you, though. We're moving down through that. We'll move on. I just want to go over some Purim things, and then we'll kind of move on. All right? There's a conclusion to the matter. Listen to the book.
When Mordecai perceived all that was done, Mordecai rent his clothes, and put on sackcloth with ashes, and went out into the midst of the city, and cried with a loud and bitter cry, and came even before the Malach's gate, for none might enter into the Malach's gate clothed with sackcloth.
Yeah.
And in every province, whithersoever the Malach's commandment and his decree came, there was great mourning among the Yahudim, and fasting and weeping and wailing, and many lay in sackcloth and ashes. So Esther's maids and her chamberlains came and told it her. Then was the Malchah exceedingly grieved, and she sent raiment to clothe Mordecai, and to take away his sackcloth from him, but he received it not.
Yeah.
Then called Esther for Hatak, one of the Malach's chamberlains, whom he had appointed to attend upon her, and gave him a commandment to Mordecai, to know what it was and why it was. So Hatak went forth to Mordecai into the street of the city, which was before the Malach's gate. And Mordecai told him of all that had happened unto him, and of the sum of the money that Haman had promised to pay the Malach's treasuries for the Yahudim, to destroy them. Also he gave him the copy of the writing of the decree that was given at Shushan to destroy them, to shew it unto Esther, and to declare it unto her, and to charge her that she should go in unto the Malach, to make supplication unto him, and to make request before him for her arm.
Yes.
And Hatak came and told Esther the dabarim of Mordecai. And Esther spake unto Hatak, and gave him commandment unto Mordecai. All the Malach's servants and the arm of the Malach's provinces do know that whosoever, whether Ish or Asha, shall come unto the Malach into the inner court, who is not called, there is one law of his to put him to death, except such to whom the Malach shall hold out the golden scepter, that he may live. But I have not been called to come in unto the Malach these 30 yamim. And they told Mordecai Esther's dabarim. Then Mordecai commanded to answer Esther, think not with thyself that thou shalt escape in the Malach's house more than all the Yahudim. For if thou altogether holdest thy shalom at this time, then shall their enlargement and deliverance arise to the Yahudim from another place.
Don't know what happened.
But thou and thy Abba's house shall be destroyed. And who knoweth whether thou art come to the Malkuth for such a time as this? Then Esther bade them return Mordecai this answer, go, gather together all the Yahudim that are present in Shushan, and fast ye for me, and neither eat nor drink 3 yamim.
What happened?
Layla or Yum. I also and my maidens will fast likewise.
What happened?
And so will I go in unto the Malach,
Tell me why.
which is not according to the law. And if I perish, I perish.
That's good. 5th chapter. 5 and 1. Listen to the book.
Now it came to pass on the 3rd Yom that Esther put on her royal apparel and stood in the inner court of the Malach's house, over against the Malach's house. And the Malach sat upon his royal throne in the royal house, over against the gate of the house. And it was so, when the Malach saw Esther the Malchah standing in the court, that she obtained favor in his sight. And the Malach held out to Esther the golden scepter that was in his hand. So Esther drew near and touched the top of the scepter. Then said the Malach unto her, what wilt thou, Malchah Esther, and what is thy request? It shall be even given thee to the half of the Malkuth. And Esther answered, if it seem ta'ub unto the Malach, let the Malach and Haman come this Yom unto the banquet that I have prepared for him. Then the Malach said, cause Haman to make haste, that he may do as Esther hath said. So the Malach and Haman came to the banquet that Esther had prepared.
What happened?
And the Malach said unto Esther at the banquet of wine, what is thy petition? And it shall be granted thee. And what is thy request? Even to the half of the Malkuth it shall be performed. Then answered Esther and said, my petition and my request is, if I have found favor in the sight of the Malach, and if it please the Malach to grant my petition and to perform my request, let the Malach and Haman come to the banquet that I shall prepare for them. And I will do tomorrow as the Malach hath said. Then went Haman forth that Yom.
That's good. Go to the 7th chapter, 7 and 1. Listen to the book.
So the Malach and Haman came to the banquet with Esther the Malchah. And the Malak said unto Astar on the second yom at the banquet of wine, What is thy petition, Malchah Astar? And it shall be granted thee. And what is thy request? And it shall be performed, even to the half of the Malkuth. Then Astar the Malchah answered and said, If I have found favor in thy sight, O Malak,
What happened?
and if it please the Malak,
What?
let my life be given me at my petition,
Yeah.
and my arm at my request.
Listen.
For we are sold, I and my arm, to be destroyed, to be slain, and to perish.
Listen.
But if we had been sold for bondmen and bondwomen,
What would you have did?
I had held my tongue,
I'd have shut up. Listen.
although the enemy could not countervail the Malak's damage.
Listen.
Then the Malak Ahasuerus answered and said unto Astar the Malchah,
What?
Who is he, and where is he that durst presume in his heart to do so?
Yes.
And Astar said, The adversary and enemy is this wicked Haman.
You said she prayed and said, I don't want to reveal him. I don't want nothing to happen to him.
The adversary and enemy is this wicked Haman.
What happened?
Then Haman was afraid before the Malak and the Malchah.
Yeah.
And the Malak, arising from the banquet of wine in his wrath, went out into the palace garden.
Yeah.
And Haman stood up to make request for his life to Astar the Malchah. For he saw that there was evil determined against him by the Malak.
What happened?
Then the Malak returned out of the palace garden into the place of the banquet of wine.
Yeah.
And Haman was fallen upon the bed whereon Astar was.
What happened?
Then said the Malak, Will he force the Malchah also before me in the house?
Yeah.
As the debar went out of the Malak's mouth,
What happened?
they covered Haman's face.
And did what?
And Harbona, one of the chamberlains, said before the Malak, Behold also, the gallows 50 cubits high, which Haman had made for Mordecai,
Yeah.
who had spoken Taub for the king,
Yeah.
standeth in the house of Haman.
What happened?
Then the Malak said, Hang him thereon.
That's good. That's good. Well, we're through talking about that. Let's look at something. Yahuah. Y'all got it? Y'all have it? 539. Yahuah 539. I gotta try to do some memory. Got a little humming or scratching in there. Interesting. Y'all all right? Y'all already writing? All right, we'll play around a little bit. Figure of speech. By the sheet 126. Then Barashit, Genesis, they call it 3 and 1. Then we'll kind of walk down through him with a little bit. See if we put this together for you. It don't take that long. It's a lot, but it don't take that long. Listen to the book.
And Elohim said, Let us make each in our image,
Yes.
after our likeness,
Yes.
and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the arats, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the arats.
So what did he do?
So Elohim created each in his own image.
Yes.
In the image of Elohim created he him.
How?
Male and female created he them.
Uh-huh.
And Elohim barakah them, and Elohim said unto them, be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the arats.
That's good. At 3 and 1. Listen to the book.
Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field,
What happened?
which Yahuah Elohim had made.
Listen.
And he said unto the Ashah, yea, hath Elohim said, ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. And the Ashah said unto the serpent, we may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden,
Yes.
but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Elohim hath said, ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die.
Listen.
And the serpent said unto the Ashah, ye shall not surely die.
What happened?
For Elohim doth know that in the womb ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be opened,
And what
and
happened?
ye shall be as Elohim,
Listen.
knowing Ta'ub and Rasha.
Listen.
And when the Ashah saw that the tree was Ta'ub for food,
And 1.
and that it was pleasant to be to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make
And
one wise,
What happened?
she took of the fruit thereof,
And what she do?
and did eat,
Listen.
and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat.
Listen.
And the eyes of them both were open,
And what happened?
and they knew that they were naked.
Mm-hmm.
And they sewed fig leaves together,
Yeah.
and made themselves aprons.
Yeah.
And they heard the voice of Yahuah Elohim walking in the garden in the cool of the Yom.
What happened?
And Adam and his Ashah hid themselves from the presence of Yahuah Elohim amongst the trees of the garden.
And what happened?
And Yahuah Elohim called unto Adam,
Listen.
and said unto him, where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden,
What you do?
and I was afraid,
And what you do?
because I was Ara,
And what happened?
and I hid myself.
That's good. That's good. Pick me back up at a stop. Hadassah, chapter 1. Pick me up at 1. Let me see, 1 and about, make it 1 and about 8. Listen to the book.
And the drinking was according to the law, none did compel. For so the Malak had appointed to all the officers of his house that they should do according to every Egypt's pleasure.
Listen.
Also Vashti the Malkah made a muad'Dib for the Nashim in the royal house which belonged to Malak Ahasuerus.
Yeah.
On the 7th Yom, when the heart of the Malak was merry with wine, he commanded Mehuman, Bista, Harbona, Bigtha, Abagtha, Zethar, and Carcas, the 7 chamberlains that served in the presence of Ahasuerus the Malak,
What happened?
to bring Vashti the Malkah before the Malak with the crown royal,
What happened?
to shew the and the princess her beauty, for she was fair to look on.
Listen.
But the Malkah Vashti refused to come at the Malak's commandment by his chamberlains. Therefore was the Malak very wroth, and his anger burned in him.
So now y'all know what happened in the garden. They were having a feast. And when Yahuah came and he called them, that's why he went answering. That's why he wouldn't come. They were already having a feast. I told you it won't take that long. We just kind of go through. You just got to pay attention. There's no way you're going to perfect yourself with just a book. You got to go through and pay attention. Otherwise, you're going to miss a whole lot of stuff. You don't know why he didn't come. His wife had prepared a feast too. That's why she didn't come. Same reason his wife didn't come. King Ahasuerus, the Malak Ahasuerus had a feast. If you go up a little higher, you'll find that out. And she had one too. So when he called, she wouldn't come. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Don't worry about it. None of this is important. We just kind of go down through and we just kind of pay attention. At the book of Oriah, chapter 14, verse 16. They call it the book of Luke. So there's a lot of stuff that went on in the garden that people wouldn't know. You just got to go through the scriptures. That's how I know what he was doing. Listen to the book.
Then said he unto him, a certain Ish made a great supper,
Listen.
and bade many. and sent his servant at supper time to say to them
What?
that were bidden, Come, for all things are now ready.
And what happened?
And they all with one consent began to make excuse. The first said unto him, I have bought a piece of ground,
Yeah.
and I must need go and see it.
What you want?
I applaud thee, have me excused.
What happened?
And another said, I have bought 5 yoke of oxen,
Yeah.
and I go to prove them.
Yeah.
I applaud thee, have me excused.
Listen.
And another said, I have married a Ashah, and therefore I cannot come.
Listen.
So that servant came and shewed his Adonai these things.
What happened?
Then the Adonai of the house, being angry, said to his servant,
What did he say?
Go out quickly
And do what?
into the streets and lanes of the city,
And what happened?
and bring in hither the poor,
Yeah.
and the maimed,
Yeah.
and the halt,
Yeah.
and the blind.
Yeah.
And the servant said,
What did he say?
Adonai, it is done as thou hast commanded,
Yeah.
and yet there is room. And the Adonai said unto the servant, Go out into the highways and hedges, and compel them to come in,
Why?
that my house may be filled.
What happened?
For I say unto you,
What happened?
that none of those unashamed
That what?
which were bidden shall taste of my supper.
He was not going to let her come back. He was not letting her come back. That's how he got Hadassah. That's how he got her stuff. Because she didn't come. She had the other women that followed her. People just think it was just a little story he was just telling. That a certain East just made a feast, and he bidded something to come, and they didn't come. Because all the women were with her. Y'all all right? So we start to put together a timeline in a sense so we get an understanding of like what we say, Dabari Hayamin. Now we get the matter of the days or the matter of the words. We kind of start to understand what was exactly going on for us. Y'all all right? 1 Corinthians. Chapter 2. Let's say about verse 6. Listen to the book.
Howbeit, we speak wisdom among them that are perfect,
Listen.
yet not the wisdom of this Arats, nor of the princes of this Arats
Listen.
that come to naught.
Was come to naught.
But we speak the wisdom of Elohim in a mystery,
Good header in a mystery. What's a mystery? Hidden truth. What happened?
even the hidden wisdom,
Well,
which Elohim ordained before the Arats unto our Kabul,
what happened?
which none of the princes of this Arats knew.
Y'all hear that? Who didn't know that?
None of the princes
Did
of
y'all
this
understand
Arats
that
knew.
none of the Shah knew this? None of the Shahs knew this. The Shara. None of them knew it. Listen.
For had they known it, they would not have crucified the Adonai of Kabul.
What happened?
But as it is written, eye hath not seen,
What else happened?
nor ear heard,
Listen.
neither have entered into the heart of each
Yeah.
the things which Elohim hath prepared for them that love him.
That's beautiful. Brandon, go back and give him the second chapter of the book of Hadassah. Well, he can do it. Hadassah chapter 2. Jump down, sit at about verse 10 or so. Listen to the book.
A star had not shewed her arm nor her kindred,
Y'all pay attention? What she do?
had not shewed her arm nor her kindred.
Yes.
For Mordecai had charged her that she should not shew it. And Mordecai walked every yom before the court.
Y'all didn't get it? So when she was taken and she was said to be the Malkah, you do understand that I hadn't seen, neither ear hadn't heard. It hadn't even entered into the hearts of them the things he had prepared for them that love him. How else was you going to understand it? What sense would it make for her to go and take on a royal estate and not to tell the people, especially her own? So now you just found a hidden amat, a mystery. That's why we come to be taught. Because a lot of things you will assume. This is all elementary. Please don't think it's complicated. It's very elementary. I told you I'd tell you something you didn't know. I ain't through. It's just a matter, sometimes you'll run through things, you'll assume to know things you really don't know what actually happened. Y'all got it? He tells us stuff eye have not seen, ear have not heard, neither had even entered into the hearts of each the things, or Anashim, the things he had prepared for them that love. He told you why. He said they know they want to crucify them. You know what folk do, they run their mouth. You'll start talking, she wouldn't even get the whole estate. So they had to prepare that way. It was neat for some. You'll wrestle with yourself. Why wouldn't he let us know? Well, you know what they say the old saying. A nigga tell everything. So what he had to do, he had to give us a hidden amat. It was commanding him not to tell us. It was, now you understand when he would go and people would try to tell him who he was, he would charge them that they tell no ish. He would charge them to tell no ish. There's no way they knew that crucifying him was going to work to our gratification or our salvation. They'd have never done it. The book told you that. They'd have never done it. That wouldn't make sense. Y'all all right? Yes, sir. So all of the things we come back and we start to consider. Y'all got it? Mm-hmm. Let's see something. All our Dabarim, they call Deuteronomy. I forgot the ha. Let's see. 14. Let's say that what I want. Since these are the words. Listen to the book.
When thou art come unto the land which Yahuah Elohim giveth thee,
listen,
and shalt possess it,
what happened?
And shalt dwell therein,
yeah,
and shalt say, I will set a malak over me,
yeah,
like as all the nations that are about me.
What you want me to do?
Thou shalt in any wise set him malak over thee,
yeah,
whom Yahuah thy Elohim shall choose.
Listen.
One from among thy Aki shalt thou set malak over thee.
Listen.
Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, which is not thy Aki.
Y'all see that? Pick me up at the 4th chapter of the book of Hadassah. 4 and about 7. Hadassah. The name Astah and Mordaki, that you're going to call Mordecai, are all Babylonian gods' names. But they're in your book. So they got a significance to them. Where would you find a star at? In the Shamaim. So it makes sense for us. Saying you would find a Mordaki because he would have been over us, a ruler. Anything over you going to be above you. And you would so commonly use these other gods. It would be something you would understand. As Shaul did, he taught about coming to them that were their law, yet not without the law Elohim. He knew how to come. He knew how to present himself. You had more familiarity with things that weren't of Elohim than you did with things that were. That's why he kept talking about I was written in the body. I had to be taught of. You ain't had to be taught about these foreign gods, though. You knew about them. You would quickly pick those things up and learn them. When it came down to Elohim, you had to be taught. A star wouldn't bother you. You know exactly what to do when you hear about a star. You look up. When you start talking about the name of our creator man, the Barah, then become question. We don't start to look up. We don't start to consider. Anything about a foreign god, we know about it. Ins and outs. But amazing with this, we got to be taught. This is what we should know. All right, listen to the book.
And Mordecai told him of all that had happened unto him, and of the sum of the money that Haman had promised to pay.
Hold what you got. Yahuah, chapter 26. Come to mind. Yahuah 26. Give me about 13. Let me see what I want. Listen to the book.
Aman, I say unto you, wheresoever this debar shall be preached in the Holorots,
What happened?
there shall also this, that this Ashah hath done, be told for a memorial of her.
Listen.
Then one of the 12, called Yehudah Iscariot, went unto the Rosh Kohanim,
Listen.
and said unto them,
What could he tell them?
What will ye give me?
For what?
And I will deliver him unto you.
I don't know what they got to do with anything. What happened? Tell me,
And they
Brandon.
covenanted with him
For what?
30 pieces of silver.
That's how we know. That's what my doctor was sitting outside the gate trying to tell him. When he sent the letter, let him know, he also told him what happened. So we should have been looking for this. We should have been looking for this. That there was going to be a betrayal and exactly how much money was going to be done. Not only did he tell about the betrayal, he also told her how much money it was. Amazing when you read about Yahuah, you find out about Yahusha, you find out about Yehudah that come along. He asked, what will you give me? And we found out the whole conversation was about, give me money. And exactly how much it was. So he told, now when we read in our law here about a star, it didn't give us the sum of the exact count. But amazing we come here, we do. We found out exactly how much it was. It didn't tell us no sum of money. It told us exactly what it was, 30 pieces of silver. Your law came along and told you, actually, that was a goodly price. He said, which I was appraised for. That's what we appraised him for, 30 pieces of silver. Y'all didn't know we was appraisers. Come on, man, they appraised the man. How much is it worth? What is this man's life worth? We appraised the value of the man, 30 pieces of silver. Yahuah even told her it was a good price.
That's right.
Matter of fact, he told you, cast it over to the potter. Give it over to them. Y'all all right? Yes, sir. 27 and 1 for me, of that same book, Yahuah. Goodness. Yeah. Listen to the book.
When the morning was come,
Tell them what happened.
all the Rosh Kohanim and elders of the Am took counsel against Yahusha
Yeah.
to put him to death.
What happened?
And when they had bound him, they led him away and delivered him to Pontius Pilate, the governor.
What happened?
Then Yehudah, which had betrayed him,
Listen.
when he saw that he was condemned,
Yeah.
repented himself.
Listen what happened. Kind of like Haman. What happened, Brandon?
And brought again the 30 pieces of silver
What
to
he
the
do?
Rosh Kohanim and elders,
What did he do?
saying, I have sinned in that I have betrayed the innocent blood.
Listen.
And they said, what is that to us?
That ain't got nothing to do with us. Isn't that right? He tried to cry to a star. That ain't got nothing to do with me. What happened?
See thou to that.
You listen.
And he cast down the pieces of silver in the temple, and departed, and went and hanged himself.
That's what your law told him to do. So did Haman. I know you're going to say they took him, but you know what happened? His own sins hung him.
Yeah.
See, you know the old saying, folks say, give people no rope.
Hang
They'll
themselves.
hang themselves. That's your law. Your law told them to cash the money to him. When Yehudah came inside to give back the money, they wouldn't take it. You know what they do? Man, you better take this stuff. And then all this was scripture. All that was scripture because they wouldn't take it. You know how somebody said, man, get that thing. You wind up throwing it like that's yours. Of course you did. That's what the law told you. You know why he did it? Because it's written. Because it's written. That's how important what you believe is for us. That it don't matter what people do, it's got to come back just like he said it. Because it's written. We're the only people that can verify what we believe. These people have stuff that contradict. Our stuff come along and it combines. It works together for the self-same, just like your body does. Huh? Okay. Don't worry about it. Everything works together. And we told us all things work together, just like your body do. That's how he put us together, just like a body. That's how important when we go back and we read our law, we see it all entails him.
That's right.
Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Goodness, I don't know what happened to y'all. Finish that 4th chapter of the book Hadassah, a star. A star. A star is born. These crowds coming on him, and they Hollywood. That's what they used to tell years ago. They used to call people. They were Hollywood stars.
Yeah, yeah.
Because everybody done learned. You see how they come back and they induce you right back. They used to call themselves a star. You see people, you say, man, you're a star. Mm-hmm. You're a star. Because a star is known for its elegance, for its beauty. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What y'all think? People didn't even know why he came to call Adam. He wanted to show him off by how beautiful he was. That's what he was coming to do when he called him. I was going to show you off. I want to show you off. That's why I called you. So reading Bereshit, tell us he called him for what reason? It didn't tell you, just told you he called him. But when we come back and we read more of our law, we know exactly why he called him. Because I wanted to show you off for beauty. That's why I called. So when he called us to the supper, you ain't going to believe why he called us.
Sure.
But when I called, you didn't answer. So guess what I decided to do now? Let another take your estate. Y'all don't even know why you do what you do, huh? Kind of like when Eddie Murphy pretended, boy, when he was going through security. He said, you brave it. You don't even know why you brave it. Got sitting there looking stupid.
Right.
He ain't even doing that. He brave. You don't even know why you're brave.
That's right.
Why y'all think he called you to the supper? Because I want to show you off. I want to show you off for beauty, just like I want to do with Vashti. And I want to do with Adam. But he didn't come. Hold you guys. See if that's 50 and 1, yes, Yahuah. Other one, see if it's 59. I don't know, mine might be, I don't know. See if it's 59:13. Yes, Yahuah. Y'all gonna bear with me a little bit? For the record, this ain't all I know. Listen to the book.
Thus saith Yahuah.
What happened?
Where is the bill of your mother's divorcement?
Y'all hear that? Listen.
Whom I have put away?
What happened?
Or which of my creditors is it to whom I have sold you?
Listen.
Behold, for your iniquities have you sold yourselves.
See that? He went right back to how he hung it. You hung yourself. You got yourself sold. You hear that? Listen what else happened.
And for your transgressions is your mother put away.
Listen.
Wherefore, when I came,
what happened?
Was there no Ish?
Yeah.
When I called,
tell them what happened.
Was there none to answer?
So you didn't even know that Hadassah had divorced her? He told you what he did. I put her away. How did he get another one? He divorced her. He told you what happened. When I called, there wasn't no answer. Matter of fact, he said, you got yourself put away. You hung yourself. Y'all all right? Yes, so how was he able to just go get rid of that woman and get another one? Yahushua came along and told he gave a bill of divorce, man. Y'all all right? It's time. Yes, Yahuah 59. Instead of what I wanted, 13. Goodness, y'all want to sing a song? Shareem or something? They look at me like I'm crazy. That's it. I told you, there's a lot of stuff people don't know. It just ain't important. Listen to the book.
In transgressing and lying against Yahuah,
listen,
and departing away from our Elohim,
what happened?
Speaking oppression and revolt,
yeah,
conceiving and uttering from the heart dabarim of falsehood.
Listen,
and judgment is turned away backward, and justice standeth afar off.
Tell them what happened.
For Amat is fallen in the street,
yeah,
and equity cannot enter.
Listen,
Yea, Amat faileth, And he that departeth from Rasha maketh himself a prey.
What happened?
And Yahuah saw it,
Y'all
and it
pay
displeased
attention.
him.
You see that? When he saw it, what he do?
It displeased him
And what happened?
that there was no judgment.
Listen.
And he saw that there was no Ish,
And what happened?
and wondered that there was no intercessor.
Yeah.
Therefore his arm brought salvation unto him.
That's good. He went and took some of his own. Well, what we start to look at him, revolt. Why you think she didn't come? She revolted. That's why she didn't come. What he did with Vashti, Ahasuerus, set up for us to be able to pay attention and realize what he did with Adam. He had to put him out the garden and not let him come back. So it'll teach you. Because when this deed had come up, and it come out, just to let y'all know, for his dominion is large. Don't you know that all the East, every one of them are going to do the same thing? Why would you come when he called you? So when we saw just how angry it made him that nobody showed up, and that he would cut them off, and that he would establish another, and not let them come, and said that not one of them were going to taste of his feast. You ain't going to believe what happened. Not one of them could eat of that tree either. Not one of them. Adam could. They couldn't eat of that tree. Everybody that fell from that same transgression, they were not eating of that tree. Come on. The tree of Koa, a Kai, a life. Who wouldn't want to eat that and live? He told them, lest they stretch forth their hand, they live forever. I can't let them do it. Because this deed will get out. And my dominion is great. Y'all all right? Yes, so you know what happened? When he took him down, when this got out and we learned about it, then all of us would give him honor. Small and great. Everybody would. That was the whole purpose of when we come back to read our law, 15 and 4, Romans. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Goodness. I ain't speaking Swahili, am I? So you know it's amazing people say that statement about Swahili? Because that was one of the dominant languages when the Portuguese came through. It was only 3. That's amazing. You would sit around and say, man, you act like I'm speaking in Swahili. White people watch you when you say stuff.
Right.
Who came up with that saying?
That's right.
A lot of y'all didn't even know they did it. When the Portuguese came through, there were 3 dominant languages when they came through there. Swahili was one of them. So you start saying stuff, white people realizing their memory coming back. Mm-hmm. They starting to regain consciousness. And Yahuah told us about that. And a lot of, and we bethink ourselves. Mm-hmm. We didn't let any crackers know that they watching us. Yep. They said the niggas are saying stuff that make them start looking. Ain't that something? Goodness. Remember somebody used to do something, put something else, say, shabam! Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
For real? That's amazing because it's in your book. Sabam. That's what he did when he arranged the host down here. When he put them down here, sabam! White people been watching you. Certain stuff you start saying started making things start arising in their mind, trying to figure what made you come up with that concept. What made you come up with that verbiage? Well, he said Shazam when he did it, didn't he? White people do anything to take you off. You have Sabut for the host of Shamaim. The way established down here, the rocks for the host of them, Sabam. You right? Shabam! That's how he gets you every time. That white man got to start thinking. What making people start desire? At one time, I had absolutely no mind, no concept of thinking, trying to worry about another language. It's all you can to get down English. But he got to start looking at it. You start to say things different than what he's saying. He rely on you starting to break away from it. Our conversation, our speech make us start breaking away from it. Because the more we learn, the more we start to consider. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Oh, good. All right. Let's see. Where I got you at?
Romans 15.
Romans 15 and 4. Listen to the book.
For whatsoever things were written aforetime
What was it written for?
were written for our learning.
So it would be needful that he would come back and then he would tell us that Allah Dabarim or 24. It would make sense he would tell us. Allah Dabarim, while I was yet with you, that all things must, which are written in Mushah, which is the Torah, and in the Nabaim, and in the Tahalim, concerning me. You see why it would be needful to go back over these things? Yep. It would be needful so we understand his coming. Yes, sir. What would be the purpose? Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Let's look at something. Yeah, I caught it. 8 and 1. Pay attention. We'll come back. I'll come back. We'll finish up this stuff. Some kind of way we'll tie all this stuff together. With the help of Yahuah, we'll tie it all together. Listen to the book. Matter of fact, what I got you? I call Abarim 8 and 1. We'll come back and get that, Brian. Don't worry. Get me order, y'all. 16. Other one, get me your Ukanon. 1:29. I'll come back to that 8 and 1. It's all the same word. Listen to the book.
The law and the Nabaim were until Yahuah.
Y'all hear what happened? The law and the Nabaim were until Yahuah. Listen what happened.
Since that time,
tell them what happened.
The Malkuth of Elohim is preached.
And tell them what they do, Brandon.
And every each presseth into it.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Now we got to try to put something else in there now, because I'm going to say something and come into mind, it might not make sense. Give me about a sheet that they're going to call Genesis. See, chapter 19. 16:7. Let's see if we make sense with it. Barashit, they call Genesis. Again, y'all getting to learn the significance of when you don't come, what happens, what a state you put yourself in. People think, ain't that important? I mean, I try to get around. Just like those people did. They had just bought some stuff.
That's right.
Some of them had a wife, too.
That's right.
On the show, you hear that? And you know what he told them? Not one of them not one of them shall taste of my supper.
Not a one.
Not one of them. That's how important for you to make it.
Yes, sir.
Because only he had you to come because he wanted to show off your beauty.
Yes, sir. That's right.
See, what people don't look at when you go back to the 3rd chapter, Yahuah, you don't have to go get it. You start looking at the stuff he took away.
Yeah.
Who remember what one of them was? Changeable suits of apparel.
That's right.
Because when we made our clothes, they were actually made for beauty.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you will want to see me.
Yeah.
You will want to see us at a Muhadi. Because it's going to be a thing of beauty, a thing of elegance. That's only here you to come. I want to show you all. Anybody going to miss me if I don't come? I mean, just keep doing your own thing. Because you ain't doing his, you're doing something else.
Yeah.
Just like a star. She was doing her own thing. What is that? I'm sorry. Boston. Listen to the book.
19:7.
Listen.
And said, I applaud you, Aki, do not so wickedly.
What happened? Wait a minute, maybe about verse 5.
Yes, sir.
19:5. Let's see if it makes sense before we move over there. Do you get me 129, Brandon? I got to try to put this thing together in my mind. Listen. Because that's where it started at. Who know where the boom boom room started at? It's up him. It's up him. Now I said the book, as a man thinketh, so he's something like that. You know what I'm talking about? You got to start up him. Isn't that right?
That's right.
19:5. Listen to the book.
And they called unto Lut, and said unto him, where are the Anashim which came in to thee this night?
Listen.
Bring them out unto us, that we may know them. Mm-hmm. And Lut went out at the door unto them,
Listen.
and shut the door after him, and said, I applaud you, Aki, do not so wickedly.
You're opening on 129. They're going to hold me, but I'm going to need that 16:16 again. Or the y'all. Then we'll get that 129. Listen to the book. No, you finish up. Come on.
Yes, sir. Behold, now I have two Banuth, which have not known Ish. Let me, I applaud you, bring them out unto you, and do ye to them as is Taub in your eyes.
What happened?
Only these, Anashim, do nothing. For therefore came they under the shadow of my roof.
Listen.
And they said, stand back. And they said again, this one fellow came in to sojourn, and he deal worse, and he will needs be a judge.
Y'all hear that? Listen.
Now will we deal worse with thee than with them.
What happened?
And they pressed sore upon the Ish, even loot, and came near to break the door.
What happened?
But the Anashim put forth their hand, and pulled loot into the house to them, and shut to the door. And they smote the Anashim that were at the door of the house.
Listen.
With blindness, both small and great.
For what reason?
So that they wearied themselves to find the door.
That's good. That's good. 129, I know I called them get 16 again, or y'all. Yahuah, they call John 129, or y'all, chapter 16, verse 16. Listen to the book.
The next Yom, Yahuah seeth Yahusha coming unto him, and saith, Behold the Lamb of Elohim, which taketh away the sin of the Arats.
Who is there?
This is he of whom I said, After me cometh an Ish, which is preferred before me.
Listen.
For he was before me.
Yeah.
And I knew him not.
What happened?
But that he should be made manifest to Yasharal.
Yeah.
Therefore am I come, immersing with Ma'im.
Yeah.
And Yahuah bare record, saying, I saw the Ruach descending from Shamayim like a dove, and it abode upon him. And I knew him not.
What happened?
But he that sent me to immerse with Ma'im,
yeah,
the same said unto me,
what did he say?
Upon whom thou shalt see the Ruach descending,
listen,
and remaining on him.
Tell me what happened.
The same is he which immersed with the Ruach HaKodesh.
That's him. At 16 and 16. Order Yah. Other one. Pick me up. We're going to just throw this in just for extra. 19. Yahuah chapter 19, verse 29. This is just extra. Don't even worry about that. This is extra credit. Listen to the book.
The law and the Nabaim
were pay attention. The law and the Nabaim
were unto
Yahuah.
Since that time, the Malkuth Elohim is preached.
And what happened?
And every Ish presseth into it.
Just for information reading. He told you about that, the law and the Nabaim, which the Torah, Moshe, and the Nabaim were unto John. They were actually a guide to John. There was a guide. Since that time he came on, every man had to press their way in. See, when they came down, they followed Luke. That's how they knew about no men with them. It was all God. When they got there, that's what they were trying to press to get in there. They were pushing on the door trying to get in. Moshe and all the Nabaim, they were just a guide to Yahuah. Y'all all right? That's all they were, a guide. When we read the book of Romans, the 10th chapter, it tried to tell you about the law. It told you the end of the law was the Mashiach for them that believe, which he would have never told the end. That was the conclusion. Y'all all right? How some understand it? Every one of them men were trying to press to get in. What wound up happening after that? When they're trying to press to get in. Mm-hmm. Well, that's what we're supposed to be doing now. Isn't that right? Said that. You're supposed to be pressing to get in. Y'all all right? Yes, sir. So we took a situation. Those men desired, those homosexual men in that city desired them. Well, we're supposed to desire men too. Yes, sir. Wow. That's amazing. Your book said, all shall know me, from the least to the greatest. The word for know is yada. People name their kid, they don't know what they be doing.
Yeah.
That's what the book will tell you that Adam did with Yahuah. Every time we use the word know, well, typically when they use it in their writing, of course it's Greek, how they come on, it translates sexual connection. It's amazing. Y'all book is what they'll call sexual too. They were both naked, already in the garden. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
All right. A man understands sex even from outside. How nature works.
Yeah.
He got to till the ground. So I want a man when he come together with a virgin. That's untilled ground. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
And the man's penis is just like the plow. Okay. He got to break it up.
That's
then he
right.
going to put seed in it.
That's right.
Okay. After that, it brings forth fruit.
Much fruit. That's right.
Your book is sexual. I don't know what the people doing. I really don't know what people doing. I guess you like lying to yourself.
Yeah.
We started thunder sex.
What's that?
Y'all off the chain. Y'all ain't gonna mess me up. Y'all not finna mess me up. What I got you holding?
Yochanan, chapter 19, 28.
That's good. Let's see what happened. Let's see y'all pick it up. Listen.
After this, Yahushua, knowing that all things were now accomplished,
Listen.
that the scripture might be
This
fulfilled,
extra credit. Just check by your book. This extra credit. Listen.
saith, I thirst. Now there was set a vessel full of vinegar, and they filled a sponge with vinegar and put it upon hyssop and put it to his mouth.
Listen.
When Yahushua therefore had received the vinegar, he said, It is finished.
Listen.
And he bowed his head and gave up the ruach. The Yahudim therefore, because it was the preparation,
Listen.
that the body should not remain upon the two on the Shabbat Yom,
Tell them why, bro.
for that Shabbat Yom was a Shabbatun,
Listen.
besought Pilate that their legs might be broken,
And do what?
and that they might be taken away.
So what did they do?
Then came the soldiers and brake the legs of the first,
And what happened?
and of the other which was crucified with him.
And tell them what else happened.
But when they came to Yahushua and saw that he was dead already,
What happened?
they brake not his legs.
That's good. At the 19th chapter, again, the book of Barashit, chapter 19, verse 5. Listen to the book.
And they called unto Lut and said unto him, Where are the Anashim which came in to thee this night?
Listen.
Bring them out unto us, that we may yada them.
Yeah.
And Lut went out at the door unto them, and
And
shut
what?
the door after him,
Yeah.
and said, I palaw you, I
I'm
kill.
asking you. What you on the answer?
Do not so wickedly.
Listen.
Behold now, I have two Banuth,
Look what he happened to have. He had two daughters. What you tell him? What can they do, Lou?
which have not yada ish. Let me, I palaw you, bring them out unto you,
And do what?
and do ye to them as is Taub in your eyes.
What about the men?
Only these Anashim do nothing.
Now you see what happened when he was on the tube. That's why they broke the leg of the tube. But they couldn't do nothing to him. Y'all don't know why they did it. Because it was written. It was written. They could do whatever they wanted to do to him. Hell, they decided to break both their legs. But they came to him. They did nothing. Y'all all right? That ain't important. That was extra credit. All right. Come on back to the 4th chapter of the book of Hadassah. I didn't forget where I was at. That was extra credit. We left off 4 and what? 4 and about 10? Hadassah, they're going to call it Esther. A star is her actual Babylonian name. Listen.
And Esther spake unto Hatak, and gave him commandment unto Mordecai. All the Malak's servants and the of the Malak's provinces do know that whosoever, whether Ish or Ashah, shall come unto the Malak into the inner court, who is not called, there is one law of his to put him to death, except such to whom the Malak shall hold out the golden scepter,
Yeah.
that he may live. But I have not been called to come in unto the Malak these 30 yamim.
Yeah.
And they told Mordecai Esther's words. Then Mordecai commanded to answer Esther, Think not with thyself that thou shalt escape in the Malak's house, more than all the Yahudim.
Yeah.
For if thou altogether holdest thy shalom at this time,
Yeah.
then shall their enlargement and in deliverance arise to the Yahudim from another place.
Yeah.
But thou and thy Abba's house shall be destroyed.
That's good. Pick me up at the book of Yahuah, chapter 1. See if it's 12. Yahuah, John as they'll call it, chapter 1, verse 12. Also for those that call me asking me for the book that we read out of, we're using the King James perversion. And as we learn, we're coming back and we're changing words that we find out that are not actual words they would have used. So those that keep asking me for the book we're using the King James perversion. If we used any book, if we actually got our ancient and read it, if I could do that anyway, we did it, nobody would follow.
No.
It'll throw them. They'll say we made up our own stuff.
Yep.
So I had to do just like Shaw. We got to come to them that without law.
That's right.
Yeah, we can't be without the law, Allahim.
That's right.
That's the reason why we're doing that. We'll throw so many people, man, they can say that, but they'll be like, what is it, man? That's a whole nother God.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We taking their book, the way they got it written, and still come along and showing they ain't even obeying what they got written wrong.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
That's on about the Khan of Yahuah.
Yes, sir.
Isn't that right?
That's right.
C-H-A-N, not C-O-N. Just for record. Listen to the book.
But as many as received him,
Pay attention.
to them gave he power to become the Beni of Elohim.
Hold on for a minute. Batman, what happened at verse 12?
But as many as received
Batman
him.
at verse 11.
Yes, sir.
Listen.
He came unto his own,
Uh-huh.
and his own received him not.
Tell me what happened.
But as many as received him,
What did he do?
to them gave he power to become the Beni of Elohim.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Do y'all understand how important it is? How? They say, yep. Goodness. Well, you said what happened? Because Bundaki was like a father to a star. It just say he came to his own received him not.
Right.
Well, it was trying to show you the same correlation he had with a star. See, our star was related to the people. That's what your law was trying to make sure of. See, all this was setting your law pattern up. All our Hadabarim 17 and 14. See, what your law told you had to do, you couldn't in any wise set nobody over you that was not related to you. You see why it worked for us. Because with a star, she said, I'm not going to get myself killed going in there. But he reminded her something. Don't think that you will escape. You might get away, but your father's house and the rest of your relatives are going to be slain. This persuaded her to go into sin. But if you set somebody over you that's not of your own, like a Donald Trump, a Bush, a Reagan, a Carter, a Johnson, what you think they're going to do? That's why you still in your condition. Mm-hmm. But now if you set some, am I getting louder? But if you set somebody over you that's of your own, then they will have more of a care and a concern.
Right.
That's why the book told you about how he came into his
own,
meaning he was related. There was no way he was going to be able to duck responsibility for us.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
That was his persuasion. That's what persuaded us to stop. Whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our
learning, that
we through patient comfort of the scripture,
I have hope.
It was no way he was going to leave us.
That's right.
That was our hope. He related to. Well, y'all got me. Y'all like a good demonic. Yeah, bring me down some. Thank you. I got one of them loud voices anyway. But you see why it was so important, how the scripture and things being written, how it worked for us? See, knowing this, we can have confidence. That's what said we can have boldness.
That's right. That's right.
Simply because we understand he can't get away from the scripture because it's written.
It's written. Yes, sir.
That's not important for y'all?
Yes, sir.
Huh?
Yes, sir.
At the 10th chapter of the book of Yahuah. Oh, my goodness. Listen to the book.
no ish taketh it from me.
At verse 17, I'm sorry. 10:17. Listen to the book.
Therefore doth my Abba love me,
Y'all hear that? Therefore does my Abba love me?
because I lay down my life that I might take it again.
Listen what happened.
No ish taketh it from me,
What happened?
but I lay it down of myself.
Tell me what happened.
I have power to lay it down.
And,
I have power to take it again.
y'all hear that? This was a star. The decision for her to go in and do it was all hers. He didn't make her do nothing. Just like with Yahushua. Nobody made her do nothing. When she told the people to fast and to pray for her, she said, and if I die, then I die. Her choice. So we should have been looking for somebody to come on with the same similitudes, with the same somewhat application, with the same attitude that he looked at. Nobody not taking this from me. I'm going to do it for myself. Because after all, I'm considering my family. The mishpachah. Y'all got it? If I don't do it, you're going to perish. That's what he got him with. Don't you know that your Abba in them house going to perish? That's tight, too. Guess I had to put that together, too, huh? Yeah, we'll do it. With the help of Mr. Yahuah. Let's look at something. Abarim, 10:1. Hebrew, they call it. Abarim, Hebrews, they'll call it. His bill. They'll call it his bill. We call it Abarim. For those that are watching don't know, Abarim, that's the other side. Isn't that right? That's the other side. It's like more people go to family, they be like, is that your, you want your family that discipline? You said, no, that's the other side. Isn't that right? Amazing. You do that. People got two sides of the family if you're him. Isn't that right? That's amazing. You said, no, that's the other side of the family. Abarim, this is what we talking. This is the other side. Y'all all right? That's what Yahushua did. He was on the two. He was Abarim. That's why he gave away his mother. I'm going to the other side. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I don't know what's going on. Listen to the book.
For the law, having a shadow of ta'ub things to come,
And not,
the very image of the things,
what happened?
can never, with those sacrifices which they offered year by year continually,
Listen.
make the comers thereunto perfect.
For what happened?
For then would they not have ceased to be offered,
Listen.
because that the worshippers, once purged, should have had no more conscience of sins.
What happened?
But in those sacrifices there is a remembrance again made of sins every year.
Y'all all right? Are y'all all right? 9:1. Same book, Abarim.
Yes, sir.
Brandon, that means you got to pick me back up in Hadassah, chapter 2. Pick me up at verse 8. Hold that for me. Listen to the book.
Then verily the first commandment had also ordinance of divine service,
Y'all hear what they had? Listen.
and a worldly sanctuary.
Listen.
For there was a tabernacle made, the first wherein was the candlestick, and the table, and the shewbread,
Yeah.
which is called the sanctuary. And after the second veil, the tabernacle, which is called the Kadash of all,
Listen.
which had the golden censer, and the ark of the covenant overlaid round about with gold, wherein was the golden pot that had manna, and Aharon's rod that budded, and the tables of the covenant, and over it the cherubims of glory shadowing the mercy seat, of which we cannot now speak particularly.
Listen.
Now when these things were thus ordained, the Kohanim went always into the first tabernacle, accomplishing the service of Elohim. But unto the second went the Rosh Kohan alone, once every year, not without blood, which he offered for himself, and for the errors of the arm, the Ruach HaKadosh, this signifying that the way into the Kadash of all was not yet made manifest.
That's beautiful. At the second chapter of the book of Hadassah, a star. Let me see verse 5. I'll put a collar on it. We'll walk the dog. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Listen to the book.
Now in Shushan the palace there was a certain Yehudi, whose name was Mordecai, the ben of Jair, the ben of Shimei, the ben of Kish, of Benjamin.
You're going to pick me up at 5 and 1. Abarim, while he read that. We'll play back and forth. Listen.
Who had been carried away from Jerusalem with the captivity, which had been carried away with Jeconiah, Malak of Yehuda.
Jeconiah was the Malak of Yehuda that we went into captivity with. The last Malak we had in captivity that died was Zedekiah. Listen.
Whom Nebuchadnezzar, the Malak of Babylon, had carried away.
Listen.
And he brought up Hadassah, that is, Estar, his uncle's Bath, for she had neither Abba nor Aim. And the maid was fair and beautiful, whom Mordecai, when her Abba and Aim were dead, took for his own Bath.
Yeah.
So it came to pass, when the Malak's commandment and his decree was heard, and when many maidens were gathered together unto Shushan the palace.
Hold what you got. 5 and 1. Abarim. Listen to the book.
For every Rosh Kohan taken from among Anashim is ordained for Anashim in things pertaining to Elohim, that he may offer both gifts and sacrifices for sins, who can have compassion on the ignorant and on them that are out of the way, for that he himself also is compassed with infirmity.
Listen.
And by reason hereof he ought, as for the alms, so also for himself to offer for sins. And no each taketh his honor unto himself.
What happened?
But he that is called of Elohim, as was Aharon.
Y'all hear that? This position ain't a position you can take of yourself. This position got to be given to you. You didn't choose the position, it chose you. See, what happened with Mushah when he was talked to, when he was Amar, and he Amar, which he was spoken to, and then he spoke back. He told him about his impairment. Yahuah asked him a question. Is Aharon your Aki? He can speak. That's how he got a position. Aharon then decide, you know what, brother? You got a speech problem. Let me help you out and do it. Well, the same thing happened with Hadassah. See, what happened, Mordecai brought her over there and set her up to take that position. She didn't choose it herself. When the Malak seen her and all the other Banuth, Beth-Ula, for virgins, he chose her. So it wasn't a position that she could have taken. As a matter of fact, Yahushua told us that. He said, matter of fact, you didn't choose me. I chose you. So you ain't gonna believe this. You're a star. And you ain't even know it. That's what he told you. Nobody don't take this honor on themselves. You know, all right? Let's see what happened. Listen.
So also Mashiach glorified not himself to be made in Rosh Kohan.
Listen.
But he that said unto him, Thou art my being. This yom have I begotten thee.
Listen.
As
Y'all don't catch that? See, what you didn't catch for some of you, Hadassah, she didn't have father, mother. So did Melchizedek. So you ain't gonna believe what Mordecai did when her father and mother died. Took her for his own. Y'all all right? You see how important now when you read, you can see the connection. A lot of these people got, when the book tells us about our law, how it's infallible, he's correct. It's incapable of error. It can't be done. It all had to line up. It had to line up. You just didn't know it. Y'all all right? That's something. Give me 8 and 1 of the same book, Hadassah. I'm sorry, not 8 Hadassah, but the book of Abarim. 8 and 1. Listen to the book.
Now of the things which we have spoken, this is the sum. We have such in Rosh Kohan, who is set on the right hand of the throne of the majesty in the Shamayim.
Same thing we'll look at with Hadassah. Where else would a Malkah be but beside a Malkun, a Malak? So you kind of see positioning. They even tell every time every king need his queen. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Goodness. Y'all looking kind of wild around here. Y'all okay?
Yes, sir.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
Yes, sir.
Listen.
A minister of the sanctuary
Yeah.
and of the Amat tabernacle, which the Adonai pitched, and not Ish.
Which he erect and fix firm, and not man. What happened?
For every Rosh Kohan is ordained to offer gifts
And what else?
and sacrifices, wherefore it is a necessity that this Ish have somewhat also to offer.
Listen.
For if he were of the Arats,
What happened?
he should not be a Kohan,
Tell them why, son.
seeing that there are Kohanim that offer gifts according to the law,
Listen.
who serve unto the example and shadow of Shamayim things.
Listen.
And as Moshe was admonished of Elohim
How?
when he was about to make the tabernacle,
Like what?
for, see, saith he, that thou make all things according to the pattern shewed to thee in the mount.
Same thing with Hadassah. He admonished her too. They made sure she went in there and she told the king the exact thing she was told to tell her. You do know he was admonishing her. That she had to do, because he sent a letter and said word back. And she had to be admonished to make sure she did all things just like she was told. Y'all all right? I guess that's the danger of believing stuff and not going back and look at, well, then people shake your faith. People shake us a lot of times. They'll come in and throw things, and next thing you know, you're not real certain about what you believe. Y'all all right? I might have this right. Thank your word for faith. Yeah, strong. Finish this up. 8.
Yes, sir.
What verse we're at?
Verse 6.
Listen. 8 and 6 are Abarim. Listen.
But now hath he obtained a more excellent ministry,
Listen.
by how much also he is the mediator of a better covenant,
Listen.
which was established upon better promises.
Listen.
For if that first covenant had been faultless,
Tell them what happened.
then should no place have been sought for the second.
So we kind of catch a couple of things here. We find Hadassah, a star. We find Yahusha, and we find Adam. Y'all got it? Because of what he's telling us right here. There was a need for him to have something to offer. That's why she would tell you about her life. She needed something to offer up. Y'all got it? Just like Yahusha did. He needed something to offer up. She offered up something. She offered up her own life. When she went to him, her petition was her life for her family life, her mishpachah life. Well, that's what the Kohan was doing. He was coming to offer up something. Y'all all right? Yes, the same thing we found with Yahusha. Now we find out something else that happened. How the first one had a defect, as did Vashti. Now he said, had it not been no defect, so you didn't believe what happened. Wouldn't have been no need for Hadassah. Wouldn't have been no need for Yahusha. That's what Yehukanah was doing, the same thing that he ain't going to believe it, the same thing that Mordecai was doing. Behold, Hadassah. Y'all all right? That's all it was. It was all a guide. All this was a guide to get us to him. Huh? We can see the defects and error of other people that came before him. Y'all all right? Yes, sir. Let's see if y'all pick up something. In that second chapter of the book of, the second chapter of the book of Hadassah. What we left off at, Brandon? 6? 2 and 6? What was that? 2 and 6? 2 and 7? Hadassah. Now we play with it. It's still the same book. Listen to the book.
And he brought up Hadassah, that is, a star, his uncle's Bath, for she had neither Abba nor Aim, and the maid was fair and beautiful.
See that? Neither father nor mother. Listen.
Whom Mordecai, when her Abba and Aim were dead,
What he do?
took for his own Bath.
See that? She didn't take this honor upon herself then, huh? He told you, no man don't take this honor on himself. He did it on his own. He took her. So you ain't gonna believe what happened. That's the same thing he did with us. He told you, I chose you. You were the fewest. Y'all didn't even know you didn't even know you was a star. Listen to the book.
So it came to pass, when the Malak's commandment and his decree was heard, and when many maidens were gathered together unto Shushan the palace, to the custody of Haggai, that a star was brought also unto the Malak's house.
What happened?
To the custody of Haggai, keeper of the Nashim.
Listen.
And the maiden pleased him, and she obtained kindness of him.
Mm-hmm.
And he speedily gave her things for purification, with such things as belonged to her, and 7 maidens which were meet to be given her, out of the Malak's house.
Y'all see that? All right, let's walk with this right quick. Abarim 1. Before you give me Kazum, chapter 1, and about 14. Kazum, for those watching, you don't call it Revelation. Kazum 1 and 14. Abarim 1 and 1. Listen.
His head and his hairs were white like wool,
Yeah.
as white as snow,
Yeah.
and his eyes were as a flame of fire,
Yeah.
and his feet like unto fine brass, as it were as if they burned in a furnace,
Yeah.
and his voice as the sound of many maim.
Mm-hmm.
And he had in his right hand 7 kabub, and seven kukab, and out of his mouth went a sharp 2-edged sword.
Mm-hmm.
And his countenance was as the Shamash shineth in his strength.
Listen.
And when I saw him, I fell at his feet as dead.
What happened?
And he laid his right hand upon me, saying
What?
unto me, Fear not, I am the first and the last.
Mm-hmm.
I am he that liveth and was dead, and behold, I am alive forevermore.
What you do?
Ammon, and have the keys of Sheol and of death.
What happened?
Write the things which thou hast seen, and the things which are, and the things which shall be hereafter.
What happened?
The mystery of the 7 kukab which thou sawest in my right hand, and the 7 golden candlesticks. The 7 kukab are the malachi of the 7 congregations, and the 7 candlesticks which thou sawest are the 7 congregations.
That's good. At 1 and 1, Abarim. Listen.
Elohim, who at sundry times and in divers manners spake in time past unto the Abbas by the Nabi'im.
It's amazing they use words like sun dry, huh? Put the sun down. Because you know what the sun for? Time. It's amazing they use words like sun dry. Because different times. Hold what you got. Beth for second. Shani is second. Kaf 119. 2 Peter. Listen.
We have a more sure debar of Nabba, whereunto ye do well.
Y'all hear that? Y'all do well that you do what?
Take heed.
How?
As unto the light
That what?
that shineth in a dark place,
Tell me what else happened, son.
until the yom dawn
And
the day kukab arise in your hearts.
day star. Because now you learn that what they call the star is all the sun is, which we know Shamash. They are lighting elements. They're just a greater one than others. Y'all all right? That's all. Just a greater one than the other, a greater element. All right. He tried to tell about all we talked about last night. He tried to tell us about Shaluma, how they came from the furthest side of the south to hear the wisdom of him. Told us that. A Shamash is here now. That was a greater Kukabim that was him. Told us about Yuna, how the people reprinted, but a greater one than him is here now. The Shamash, the day star. One that don't just shine at night, I shine all the time. Y'all all right? Okay. Listen.
Knowing this first,
That's good. Come on back over. Well, you can finish that, then come back over. Knowing this first.
that no Naba of the scripture is of any private interpretation.
Tell me how, son.
For the Naba came not in old time.
This should make sense for you. How did the Naba come?
Came not in old time.
You said the Naba came what?
Not in old time.
By what?
The will of Ish.
But?
But Kodash Anashim of Elohim spake as they were moved by the Ruach HaKadosh.
No man take this honor on himself. Couldn't be the will of man. Y'all all right? Okay. Come on back over to Abarim chapter 1. Where we still at? Verse 1?
Verse 2.
Verse 2. Listen.
Hath in these last Yamim spoken unto us by his Ben,
Listen.
whom he hath appointed heir of all things,
Yeah.
by whom also he made the Arats,
Listen.
who being the brightness of his kabod,
And
the express image of his person,
listen.
and upholding all things by the debar of his power,
What did he do?
when he had by himself purged our sins,
Yeah.
sat down on the right hand of the majesty on high.
They ain't gonna believe what happened. That's what All-Star did. Y'all do know she did eventually sat down with the Malak. That was after. Listen.
Being made so much better than the Malachi,
That's why he chose her. Everybody he had to walk before him, he couldn't find nothing that looked better than her. Y'all didn't even realize that. You would have never known that you hadn't heard about what happened with a star.
Yeah.
That's what he was doing. After he had taken her down, he had been looking for somebody that could even be equivalent or better. Y'all all right. It got to make sense. It's got to make sense. So when you're hearing this, you got something that you can relate to in your scripture. That's what it was. We have a more sure word of Naba, whereunto you do well that you take heed, as unto a light, as unto a star. Trying to help y'all out. Y'all dealing with a hidden truth. Listen.
as he hath by inheritance obtained a more excellent name than they.
See that? A star. Vasha's name wasn't a star. Her name was not a star. Y'all all right? It's amazing. I tell you, don't worry about it. Keep going.
For unto which of the Malachi said he at any time, Thou art my Ben, this Yum have I begotten thee.
Listen.
And again I will be to him an Abba,
And
he shall be to me a Ben.
we heard that. Who else did Mordecai pick to be his own?
Nobody.
Were they the only two people that are from Yehuda?
Nope.
They weren't the only two people that are from Jerusalem that were taken from captivity? Who did he pick? How many did he pick? That's how we understand it. To which one did he say at any time that you're my daughter? Nobody. Listen.
And again, when he bringeth in the first begotten into the Araz,
Listen what happened.
he saith, and let all the Malachi of Elohim worship him.
Everybody had to worship him. Listen.
And of the Malachi he saith, who maketh his Malachi Ruach, and his Sharat a flame of fire.
Yeah.
But unto the Ben he saith, Thy throne, O Elohim, is forever and ever.
Y'all hear that? Just so happens she just happened to be sitting on the throne. Yep. Tell me what has happened.
A scepter of Sadiq is the scepter of thy Malkut.
Tell me about why.
Thou hast loved Sadiq,
And
hated iniquity.
that's why she had to tell on her mind. You know what your law told you? Should have thou helped the people that are not like Elohim?
Right. Right.
Should you love the wicked? Yeah, these crackers will take your book and try to program it that we would be sitting around helping and praying for wicked people.
Mm-hmm.
That's how she got her seat. That don't make no sense. A lot of stuff people that don't make no sense. It's going to contradict your law. Now you know how she got her seat. Because she loves Sadiq. She hated wrong. All right, listen.
Therefore, Elohim, even thy Elohim, hath anointed thee with the oil of gladness above thy fellows.
And you know what oil poured at? Who knows? That's how she got the crown on her head. That's why he need to put the crown royal on her head. He crowned her over everybody else. That's what the oil signified. That's why they were so pissed when they were sitting there at dinner and the woman said, oh, alabaster, and she said he anointed him in front of all his fellows. That's why they were pissed. We could have did something else with this. You know what that teach you? Jealous niggas always been around.
Yeah.
Just being honest. Jealous always been around among us. This ain't nothing new. Come on, fed this up.
And thou, Adoni, in the beginning, hast laid the foundation of the Arats, and the Shamayim are the works of thine hands.
Yeah.
They shall perish, but thou remainest.
What happened?
And they all shall wax old as doth a garment.
Yeah.
And as a vesture shalt thou fold them up.
Yeah.
And they shall be changed. But thou art the same,
And what happened?
and thy years shall not fail.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
Ever.
That's right.
Come on, that second chapter again. Let's film this second chapter, 4th verse, and I'll get y'all to a conclusion. I'll try to finish y'all on up. Y'all, did you learn anything? Yeah. We to the end. I hope that heat ain't on, is it? Now, y'all feel a little toasted. We don't want to freeze them, just a tad toasted, just a tad.
All right.
There's always one jealous of the air conditioning. Then I tell you, they always been around. Hate on the air. Listen to the book. This is second chapter. What verse we left off at? Verse 8, 9? Let's pick it up at 9, be fine. 2 and 9. Hadassah, 2 and 9. Listen.
And the maiden pleased him, and she obtained kindness of him.
Listen.
And he speedily gave her things for purification, with such things as belonged to her, and 7 maidens which were meet to be given her, out of the Malak's house.
Listen.
And he preferred her and her maids unto the best place of the house of the Nashim.
Listen.
Esther had not shewed her people nor her kindred, for Mordecai had charged her that she should not show it.
So now we know again, we told you why Yahushua wouldn't tell everybody who he was. He was charged by his Abba not to tell us. Listen.
And Mordecai walked every yom before the court of the Nashim's house, to know how Esther did.
Hold what you got. Pick me up and say that 828. Your Ukanon. Listen to the book.
Then said Yahushua unto them, when ye have lifted up the Ben of Ish, then shall ye know that I am he,
And how you do stuff?
and that I do nothing of myself,
What happened?
but as my Abba hath taught me,
What you do?
I speak these things.
Why you think he took it? You're going to take her for your daughter and you ain't going to teach her. Your law told you you're supposed to teach your children and your children's children. So he took her for his daughter. He didn't teach her nothing? That's what you'll do. You'll pick and claim somebody won't teach them. That's not even your law. Your law was to teach your Beni and your Beni and let them teach another generation, or Tulada. So you missed something again, didn't you? Because you just thought he just went and said, you know what, like you're gonna be like my own daughter. If you are, then I'm gonna have to teach you. Because that wouldn't make sense to tell you how it's written in the Nabal that they should all be taught to Elohim. Would that be fair to take a star and make her his own bath, which is our Hebrew word for daughter, and don't teach her? When your law clearly told you it's written in the Nabaim that all of them had to be taught of it. Listen.
Continue.
Yes.
Yes, sir. And he that sent me is with me.
Listen what else happened.
The Abba hath not left me alone.
Tell them why, son.
For I do always those things that please him.
That's why he stayed there with her. He was checking on her every noon. Every yom, he was standing right there checking on them. Y'all didn't know that every yom. So guess what happened? The same thing happened with Yahuah. He had to check on them every day. Yeah. Every yom he was checking on them. In the Tahalim, the 23rd chapter, it tell you that. Yea, do I walk through the valley of the shadow of death? You ain't going to believe it. I shall fear no evil. You ain't going to believe. Why? Because you with me. Every yom. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Because he's going to be an arbor, and he can't withhold correction from a child.
That's right.
Unlike y'all, get them and don't whoop them. All right, let's see what happens. Come on, finish this up. We're almost to the end. Listen.
As he spake these dabarim, many believed on him.
No, we're going to get back over to the second chapter of Hadassah. Try to clean this up. Listen to the book.
And Mordecai walked every yom before the court of the Nashim's house to know how Esther did and what should become of her.
See that? Listen.
Now, when every maid's turn was come to go in to Malach Ahasuerus, after that she had been Shanaim Ashar Kadash, according to the manner of the Nashim, for so were the Yamim of their purifications accomplished.
Yeah.
To wit, 6 months with oil of myrrh, and 6 months with sweet odors, and with other things of the purifying of the Nashim.
Yeah.
Then thus came every maiden unto the Malach. Whatsoever she desired was given her to go with her out of the house of the Nashim unto the Malach's house. In the evening she went, and on the morrow she returned into the second house of the Nashim, to the custody of Sha'agash, the Malach's chamberlain, which kept the concubines.
Yes.
She came in unto the Malach no more, except the Malach delighted in her, and that she were called by name.
Yes.
Now when the turn of Esther, the Bath of Abihail, the uncle of Mordecai, who had taken her for his Bath, was come to go in unto the Malach, she required nothing but what Haggai, the Malach's chamberlain, the keeper of the Nashim, appointed. And Esther obtained favor in the sight of all them that looked upon her. So Esther was taken unto Malach Ahasuerus unto his house royal in the 10th month, which is the month Tebeth, in the 7th year of his reign. And the Malach loved Esther above all the Nashim, and she obtained con and favor in his sight more than all the Bethula.
So you understand that now? He anointed her with the oil of gladness above her fellows, which will be companions. Listen.
So that he set the royal crown upon her head and made her Malkah instead of Vashti.
Y'all got it now? Yep. Listen.
Then the Malach made a great muadi unto all his shar and his servants, even Esther's muadi.
Yeah.
And he made a release to the provinces and gave gifts according to the state of the Malach.
What happened?
And when the Bethula were gathered together the second time, then Mordecai sat in the Malach's gate. Esther had not yet shewed her kindred nor her arm, as Mordecai had charged her. Mm-hmm. For Esther did the commandment of Mordecai, like as when she was brought up with him.
Listen.
In those Yamim, while Mordecai sat in the Malach's gate, 2 of the Malach's chamberlains, Bigthan and Teresh.
That's good. That's good. Let's go back to that 9th chapter of the book of Abarim. I'm trying to get ready to let y'all go. Uh, 9 and 1.
Yes, sir.
Listen to the book.
Then verily the first covenant.
Truly the first covenant. Did what?
Had also ordinance of divine service.
Yes.
And of a wrought sanctuary. Mm-hmm. For there was a tabernacle made, the first wherein was the candlestick. Yeah. And the table and the shewbread, which is called the sanctuary. Mm-hmm. And after the second veil, the tabernacle, which is called the Kadash of all. Yeah. Which had the golden censer and the ark of the covenant overlaid round about with gold. Yes. Wherein was the golden pot that had manna and Aharon's rod that budded. Yeah. And the tables of the covenant. And over it the cherubims of Kabod showing the mercy seat, of which we cannot now speak particularly. Yeah. Now when these things were thus ordained, the Kohanim went always into the first tabernacle, accomplishing the service of Elohim. What happened? But into the second went the Rosh Kohan alone, once every year, not without blood, which he offered for himself and for the errors of the alms.
Listen.
The Ruach HaKadosh, this signifying that the way into the Kadash of all was not yet made manifest,
Listen.
while as the first tabernacle was yet standing,
Listen.
which was a figure for
So when did he get Hadassah? He couldn't get her while he had the first one.
That's right.
Didn't make sense. He had to take the first covenant down except the second one. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
And he wrote that she couldn't come back no more.
Right. Yep.
Y'all got it?
Yes, sir.
Listen.
Which was a figure for the time then present,
See that? It was just a figure for the time present. Tell them what has happened.
in which were offered both gifts and sacrifices
Listen.
that could not make him that did the service perfect,
Come on.
as pertaining to the conscience,
Yeah.
which stood only in meats and drinks, and divers washings, and carnal ordinances, imposed on them until the time of Reformation.
Come on.
But Mashiach being come, and Rosh Kohan of Taub things to come, by a greater and more perfect tabernacle, not made with hands, that is to say, not of this building,
Listen.
neither by the blood of goats and calves, but by his own blood he entered in once into the Kadash place,
Listen.
having obtained eternal redemption for us.
Yes.
For if the blood of bulls and of goats and the asses of an heifer, sprinkling the unclean, sanctifieth to the purifying of the flesh,
Yeah.
how much more shall the blood of Mashiach, who through the eternal Ruach offered himself without spot to Elohim,
Listen.
purge your conscience from dead works
Listen.
to serve the Ka'i Elohim.
Listen.
And for this cause, he is the mediator of the New Testament,
Listen.
that by means of death, for the redemption of the transgressions that were under the first testament,
Listen.
they which are called might receive the promise of eternal inheritance.
Listen.
For where a testament is,
What is a sign?
there must also of necessity be the death of the testator.
Listen.
For a testament is of force after anashim are dead.
Listen.
Otherwise it is of no strength at all while the testator liveth.
Listen.
Whereupon neither the first testament was dedicated without blood.
Listen.
For when Moshe had spoken every precept to
Tell 'em
all
what
the
he-
alms,
Tell them what he did, son.
according to the law,
What did he do?
he took the blood of calves,
And
of goats,
yeah.
with ma'im and scarlet wool,
And what did he do?
and hyssop,
Yeah.
and sprinkled both the safar and all the alms,
What happened?
saying, This is the blood of the testament which Elohim hath enjoined unto you.
Yeah.
Moreover, he sprinkled with blood both the tabernacle and all the vessels of the ministry.
Yeah.
And almost all the things are by the law purged with blood.
Y'all hear that? Listen.
And without shedding of blood,
And without what?
shedding of blood,
And without what?
shedding of blood,
And without what?
shedding of blood
Tell them what happened,
is
son.
no remission.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Y'all give him a hand clap. Beautiful. Y'all got it?
No.
Good. It was just music to my ears, listen to him read. Because y'all should have caught it. Why you would have used her. Because the own woman is the only one you're going to get blood from like that.
That's right. Yeah.
That's why she didn't need to bring no bullocks, no turtle doves, or no heifer. Because she already bleed on her own. I know y'all weren't going to catch it. A woman only one going to bleed on her own. See, without the shed of blood, that's why we had to kill everybody in the palace. Now you understand why we had a decree to go through and kill those people. We had to do it. They were going to kill us. So we had to kill them. That's how we're going to get remission. See, your Lord teach you. Don't worry about it. I told you we were just going to talk about it real quick and keep moving. At the 5th chapter of Yahuah 5:39. That's why I let y'all come back in the sanctuary. See what the people didn't pay attention to? If you'd have paid attention to the women, you paid attention to Hadassah. It took her 12 months to purify.
That's right. That's right.
Then she came in.
That's right.
That's why he told you they would do it every year.
Right.
So you understood that. That's why he would give you a time that they're going to use chronicles. Well, you use Dabari Hayamin. I was giving you the matter of the Yamin of the days, showing you what she was doing. They was counting down her time before she was going to go in and she was going to offer. That put her right about the time she should be menstruating by then. What y'all thought Yahushua was doing up on the tube? So since he wasn't going to use no turtle doves and no lambs and no he-goats and no bulls, exactly where was he going to get that blood from?
Right, right.
It was going to come from the womb.
That's right. That's right. Yes, sir.
A womb will bleed.
That's right.
That's why we use a star. So you saw where these people trying to tell us about you offering sacrifice for sin and all they do. We can clearly show them historically from our book that it was done and there was no lamb and no bullock. It was a similitude, but not the actual.
Yeah.
Because she could demonstrate the same thing he going to do. She had a womb. If you pay attention, she had to purify for a year, 12 months. Which meant in the first month she started bleeding, as did Yahushua, about the 14th yom at evening. Her menstrual started. I'm going to tell y'all. Y'all didn't catch it? And she did it for 12 months. The first month will push her right around. Mm-hmm. That's when he wound up cycling. His cycle came on. The 14 yom. His cycle came on.
Yeah.
He started bleeding. All right. All right. Y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. I don't know what we're doing. 539, Yahuah. Listen to the book.
Search the scriptures,
For why?
for in them ye think ye have eternal life,
That's what we thought. We were reading the scripture, didn't we? But what happened, Brandon?
and they are they which testify of me.
See, we were reading it. We were doing the same practice and thought we had eternal life. There was no way you could have it. No more than they could have had it in the garden. They hadn't even ate of the tree. How did they have eternal life? That don't make sense. They couldn't have had eternal life. They hadn't even ate of the tree. We would assume they would have lived forever, but then we search the scripture, he'll try to tell you, you ain't had no eternal life. What was it talking about, Brandon?
And they are they which testify of me.
So this is not actually about a star. It was talking about him. So the word we use in correlation would be allegory. That would be a picture. That would be a poem. That would be a story that will give you a similitude of the truth. That's why we go back to read that, because it gives you a similitude of the truth. We learn from reading them who was a mod. That's why he said, and ye shall know.
Yeah, man.
And what the mod going to do?
Make you free.
That's what a star did. That's what she did. She went in and she did everything the Kohan did. If you pay attention, all the women came before him. But she was able to go into the second veil. The Malach had made a decree that nobody should come under him, except to whom he hold the scepter, which means she went into what we would call the Kodash of Kodash. Come on, for what y'all doing? Seriously? That's what she was doing. But she couldn't go in there without blood.
Hey, that's right. Yes, sir.
I don't know what the people doing. She couldn't go in there without blood. She was going to go before him and she was going to offer for us her life, and you have no blood? When all things by the law were purged by blood? She had all the similitudes of what we need. Well, you don't know when she was born. And guess what they don't know? You don't know when she died.
That's right. That's right.
Kind of like Melchizedek.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, y'all already knew all this stuff. Y'all much too smart. But if you search the scripture in them, you think you have eternal Kai. He said, well, they was testifying. Who was that again?
Of me.
You ain't going to believe this. Tell them about Adam.
and you will not come to me that you might have life.
If he'd have
right.
came, I would have let him eat of the tree.
That's right. That's right.
Had Vashti come to the supper, she could have ate her someone gave her, would have kept her position.
That's right.
Just like other people that don't show up for the feast.
Yeah.
That's why you don't have it.
That's right.
You're not going to come to the feast so you can get kaid. Listen to the book.
I receive not honor from Anashim,
Listen.
but I know you,
What happened?
that ye have not the love of Elohim in you.
Tell them why, son.
I am come in my Abba's name,
And what happened?
and ye receive me not.
Listen.
If another shall come in his own name,
Tell them what you'll do.
him ye will receive.
Listen.
How can ye believe
That do what?
which receive honor one of another,
And receive what?
and seek not the honor that cometh from Elohim only?
That's why he talked about their position. He said, no man take it upon himself.
Man.
You got to be chosen for
That's
it.
right.
She was chosen for that. Even with the Malak Daoud, people that look, he was chosen for that
That's
position.
right. That's right.
When Shemuel came in to try to anoint the different one, he stopped him.
Yeah.
And is this all of your beneath? And you ain't going to believe it. He had 7.
Yep.
That's amazing because a star had 7 chamberlains.
Yep.
That's why I took y'all over here to Kazum. I know y'all didn't. I just kept you going. He tried to tell them about he had 7 of them too. I got 7 chamberlain.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just call them congregations. I know they wouldn't catch it. They figured, hell, he just done lost it. I just like for you to do that. I did just like Yahushua. I made it though I would have gone further.
Right.
Listen,
Do not think that I will accuse you to the Abba.
tell them what happened, son.
There is one that accuseth you,
Who?
even Moshe, in whom ye trust.
See that? Even Musha, in whom you trust. You know what's amazing about that? When it came down to it, Mordecai didn't even have to go in there. Well, Mordecai, yeah, for Mordecai, I think it's Mordecai, how you pronounce it in Abari. Well, it's a Babylonian name. But that's amazing. Because he didn't do it. You know he did not tell on Haman.
Yep. That's right. That's
Y'all
right.
didn't notice he didn't do that?
That's right.
Mordecai didn't do that.
Uh-uh.
Just like he did. Don't think I'm going to accuse you to the Abba. Tell him what happened, Brandon.
There is one that accuseth you.
Hold on, there's who now?
There is one that accuseth you,
And how I feel about him.
even Moshe, in whom ye trust.
You ain't going to believe what he did. He went leaping and hopping and told his wife about Hadassah got me coming to the feed, baby. And I know she finna bless her nigga. Nigga finna be straight. That's who finna accuse you, nigga.
Uh-huh. Yep.
He went leaping. He was happy.
Yep.
When he told his wife and then what had happened and how he had been invited to the feast. See how I tell these people don't know what they're doing. Mordecai never did tell on him.
Nope.
He didn't go and tell the Malak about it. The same thing Yahushua tried to tell you. Don't think I'm going to be the one to accuse you. There's another who's going to do it, in whom you trust. Tell him what happened.
For had ye believed Moshe,
See, had you believed him, tell him what happened.
ye would have believed me.
If you'd have believed she was the daughter, you should have known she had a father.
That's right. That's right.
You can't be that stupid. If she a child, if it's a child, it's got to have a father.
Yeah.
Tell him why, son.
For he wrote of me.
The whole thing was talking about me.
Yep.
The book told y'all earlier about Mordecai. He was the one that ruled over the Yahudim. Y'all all right? That's good. Give you a hand clap. Wonderful Husha. Wonderful Husha. Wonderful Husha. Ain't he good? Did y'all learn anything? All right, good. Thank the Most High. That's our goal.